New at 11 tonight, the eyes of the world were glued to one ice rink, and we'll have reaction. A slaughter shatters the peace on the West Bank. And all cigarettes could be yanked off the shelf if the FDA gets its way.
And we're looking at cloudy skies now and snow before much longer. We'll have all the weather details coming up next.
Now, live, the #1 news in the Capital District. Liz Bishop, Marty Aarons, Kyle Kraska, and meteorologist Scott Stevens. This is NewsCenter 6 News at 11.
What a great moment for Nancy Kerrigan.
Weeks of anticipation end in cheers and tears. Good evening, everyone. New at 11 tonight, the big skates let it rip on Olympic ice. Kyle Kraska joins us live from our Olympic Center now with reaction to this event that took on epic proportions. Kyle?
You know, Liz, it was bigger than the Super Bowl, and you know what? It was even better because this mega sports event actually lived up to all the advanced hype. At times, it was absolutely beautiful, and at other times, it bordered on bizarre.
And who else but Tonya Harding providing the night's most tense moments? She arrived on the ice in the nick of time, and then, after missing a jump, she broke down into tears. It was a problem with her laces. Harding petitioned the judges, and they gave her another chance. But even that, a tight-lipped, tense presentation was only good for 8th place.
Well, I accomplished one of my dreams, and that's being here. And I'm very happy to be here at the Olympic Games. And who knows, if I don't get my gold here or my dream come true, maybe I'll come back in a few years.
Soon it would be Nancy Kerrigan's turn, and what a performance. Her only mistake, a triple flip, turned into a flawless double. Kerrigan's routine landed her atop the leaderboard, but not for long. The very next skater, Oksana Bayul of the Ukraine, was even better. At least the judges thought so. Kerrigan had to settle for the silver.
I was really proud of myself, and, you know, to watch the American flag raised for the efforts that I have put in to be here was, you know, it's thrilling, and I was just real proud of myself.
And now here's one more look at the final standings. Oksana Bayul of the Ukraine gets the gold, Kerrigan the silver, Chen Lu of China took home the bronze medal. Tonya Harding once again finished in 8th place. Now later on in sports, tonight's cameras caught another side of Nancy Kerrigan that we really haven't seen, so you will see it in about 15 minutes. Liz will have that for you in just a little bit.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And the Capital District was certainly pulled into this soap opera, just as the rest of the world was. Darcy Wells joins us live now from the Lexington Grill on Wolf Road in Colonie with local reaction to the final episode of As the Skaters Turn. Darcy?
And Liz, people here at the Lexington Grill in Colonie were ready for some drama tonight, and I don't think anyone was disappointed. Patrons here at the Lexington Grill settled in early for tonight's final figure skating event. Not many were willing to admit they've been following the Nancy Kerrigan, Tonya Harding miniseries, but when the stars of this drama hit the ice, they caught everyone's attention, and no one could have predicted what was about to happen.
It's so difficult to compose yourself when you're late, your name has been introduced.
I think it's a farce. I think she got nervous and she fell on her jump. I thought it was a scam and it was a way out. She knew she hadn't done well and was going for the dramatic.
While not many here tonight were willing to give Tonya a second chance, the judges were a little more lenient, and then observers got ready for take 2.
Nicely done.
I think that she skated very well, considering everything that's been going on with her.
She skated real well. I don't know what the whole deal was, you know, if something really did happen or if she was just off or, you know, if mentally she didn't have it together. I think when Nancy goes on the ice, though, you're really going to see a change. I think, you know, Nancy will put it all together. I think she'll bring home a gold tonight.
Triple loop. Great moment for Nancy Kerrigan.
And Liz, it was apparent from the people here tonight, if they were the judges tonight, Kerrigan probably would have gone home with the gold, but I think overall people are pretty satisfied with her performance.
Yeah, I heard a lot of the same comments in the newsroom, so I guess they're universal. Darcy, thanks.
You're welcome.
In a place of worship, most of us would feel safe. That's probably how it was in Israel today, just before a shooting spree started that took the lives of dozens of Palestinians. It's a massacre that threatens the delicate and ever-changing balance of peace in the Mideast. Marianne Worley talked to a local rabbi about the attack. She's live in our newsroom now with that story. Marianne?
Liz, the PLO has now called for an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council. Meantime, a local rabbi tonight says most Jews here in America hope the massacre does not derail the peace process. Retired Rabbi Michael Senes says tonight's Sabbath services at Temple Gates of Heaven included prayers for the dozens of Palestinian worshipers massacred this morning in the West Bank. He says many American Jews feel embarrassed.
Using the term Prime Minister Rabin of Israel used, we are ashamed, we are sorry, we are horrified.
The person who caused all this carnage, a man whose life was healing, Brooklyn-born Jewish medical doctor Baruch Goldstein, described as a Zionist who hated Palestinians and refused to treat Arabs. A UN official now says Goldstein acted with 5 others and that he did not commit suicide afterwards, but was beaten to death. The massacre touched off more violence and rioting that ended in more deaths, and now threatens to upset Israeli PLO peace talks, which President Clinton now says will continue in Washington.
But I hope it is not going to stop the process. We knew that there would be difficulties. We did not expect it from that side so much, and certainly not in this horrible form. But hopefully people will realize that what they have is very precious, and they have to try to prevent anything like this from happening.
Now, Rabbi Senes says when Israel and the PLO do talk, it will be important for both sides to show goodwill and to be able to claim at least some kind of small success. Liz.
All right, Marianne, thank you. And an answer tonight to the question, what's beyond the beyond? And it leads our New at 11 World Wrap. Scientists at Penn State University have studied a pulsar 1,300 light years from Earth and found evidence of at least 2 planets orbiting that dense star. Now, if they're correct, these are the first planets found outside of this solar system. Tomorrow is the first anniversary of the bombing of the World Trade Center, and survivors of the 6 people killed in the attack remembered the horror today. The anniversary comes as a jury deliberates the fate of 4 men charged with plotting and carrying out that bombing. The Clinton administration is giving a senior Russian diplomat 7 days to leave the U.S. because of the CIA spy scandal. Russia had refused to call him home voluntarily, but observers say it's doubtful the espionage will damage U.S.-Russia relations. A vital recall is affecting people worldwide. Tainted blood that has the potential to cause hepatitis is being pulled off the market. Now, the plasma in question are distributed under the names GammaGuard and Polygam. These brands are typically given to sufferers of white blood cell diseases. So far, no cases have been reported in the United States, but 5 recipients in Europe have contracted hepatitis C from the blood. Manufacturers have stopped further productions until the cause of the contamination is known. Cigarettes could be gone in a puff. Most brands of cigarettes could disappear from the U.S. market if the Food and Drug Administration follows through with a proposal to reclassify nicotine as a drug. FDA Commissioner David Kessler says growing evidence of nicotine addiction could warrant federal regulation of the compound. Well, it's time now for First Forecast, and meteorologist Scott Stevens is on the weather patio to tell us about that weather.